Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm just so thrilled you are joining us today.
It's going to be a good one.
It really is, because we have a genuinely fascinating topic on the table. We are looking at a comprehensive guide provided by Crystals by Rob,
Right.
and it is titled Metaphysical Properties and Healing Guide for Bacon Opal.
Bacon Opal.
Bacon Opal. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking listening to this.
Oh, it sounds like a joke.
It sounds like a punchline.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone accidentally dropped their breakfast onto a jeweler's workbench and just decided to market it.
Just go with it, yeah.
Right. But I promise you, by the end of this deep dive, you are going to see exactly why this seemingly humorously named stone is actually considered an absolute powerhouse.
A total workhorse of a stone.
Exactly. For grounding, for emotional integration, and for a concept we are really going to explore heavily today, which is embodied healing.
It's a striking contrast right out of the gate.
It is. So our mission today is to look right past that quirky name and uncover the profound metaphysical weight this layered marbled stone actually carries.
Because the name absolutely makes you smile. But the framework we are analyzing today from Rob reveals a deeply serious, incredibly nurturing tool for those who are struggling.
So let's talk about first impressions based on the text.
If we look strictly at the visual description provided in the guide, Bacon Opal is characterized by these incredibly distinct layered bands.
Strata, really.
Right, strata of red, pink, cream, brown, and white.
So it really does resemble stacked or marbled bacon.
It literally does. But those layers are the perfect metaphor for the stone's core metaphysical purpose.
How so?
Well, they symbolize the intricate balance and integration between physical, tactile reality.
The grounding part.
Exactly, and our internal emotional well-being, the softer colors.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because that idea of balancing physical reality with emotional well-being through embodied healing feels incredibly relevant right now.
Very much so. But before we get into the weeds, we should probably define what embodied healing actually means in this context.
That sets the stage for everything else.
Right. Embodied healing is the practice of bringing higher consciousness into your physical body and your daily routines.
Rather than trying to escape them.
Yes, rather than trying to spiritually bypass or astral project away from your everyday problems.
Which is what a lot of people try to do when they feel overwhelmed.
Totally.
Yeah.
Rob's guide goes deep into the emotional healing properties of Bacon Opal, and it paints a picture of a stone that acts as the ultimate antidote to emotional overwhelm.
But it does so in a very specific way. This isn't about dramatic lightning bolt shifts in your mood.
No, not at all. It's about soothing the nervous system.
The material specifically mentions supporting people who are dealing with emotional fatigue, stress, or lingering sadness.
That phrase right there.
Lingering sadness.
Yeah, that really stands out in the source material. It speaks to a very specific kind of emotional state.
Like a chronic feeling.
Exactly. We aren't necessarily talking about a sharp, acute crisis here. We are talking about that heavy, dull exhaustion that follows a prolonged period of stress.
Think about the sheer energetic drain of just existing in the modern world right now.
Oh, absolutely. The doom scrolling.
The constant pings on your phone.
That 3 p.m. slump where you just feel energetically depleted by literally everything around you.
Yes. What's fascinating here is that Bacon Opal assists with emotional integration by helping you process those mixed or conflicting emotions without suppression.
The guide explicitly describes its energy as nurturing rather than confrontational.
Nurturing rather than confrontational. That is such a vital distinction.
It really is.
Because think about how often when you are dealing with anxiety or burnout, or a situation where you feel two completely opposing emotions simultaneously, the instinct is to just push those feelings down.
You try to force a fix.
Right. You tell yourself, I just need to get over this right now, or I need to snap out of it.
We judge ourselves so harshly for just feeling things.
We really do. But looking at this framework, Bacon Opal acts as an emotional stabilizer that softens that exact self-judgment.
It promotes a slow, mindful processing of your feelings.
It creates a safe internal environment.
Where you can simply acknowledge difficult emotions without immediately needing to solve them.
Which is a relief in itself.
By providing that steady, calming presence, it allows you to navigate challenges at a pace that is actually sustainable.
So it is the exact opposite of a quick fix.
Exactly. It is about rebuilding emotional strength from the ground up. You aren't forcing the growth.
You are allowing it to unfold naturally.
Because the internal environment is finally secure enough to handle it.
So what does this all mean for someone's actual daily spiritual practice?
Yes.
Because this is where the source material takes a turn that completely reframes how we usually talk about crystals.
It really shifts the paradigm. Usually when people discuss metaphysical stones, the focus is heavily on transcendence,
Right, it's about opening the crown chakra,
accessing higher realms.
experiencing these rapid, massive energetic shifts.
But Rob draws a really sharp contrast here. He points out that Bacon Opal is deliberately not a high-frequency opal.
It champions that embodied spirituality you defined earlier.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, embodied spirituality honors the daily grind as a fundamental part of the spiritual path.
I love that. The idea that paying your electricity bill
We're doing the dishes, yeah.
can be as spiritually profound as a deep meditation session, provided you are fully present.
That is the key. Bacon Opal is favored by practitioners who want to anchor higher wisdom directly into the physical body.
So that their insights are actually actionable in the real world.
Because you can have all the cosmic downloads you want, but if you can't apply them to how you interact with your family,
Or how you handle a stressful Tuesday at work.
what is the point?
Exactly. It helps you harmonize your mind, body, and spirit, so your spiritual understanding aligns seamlessly with your lived experience.
And the guide explains the mechanics of how it does this energetically.
Through its specific chakra alignments.
Right. Now, anyone familiar with grounding stones knows they typically target the root chakra.
And Bacon Opal is no different. It heavily anchors the lower energy centers.
Through the root chakra, it reinforces security
Stability.
and a profound connection to the earth, cultivating resilience during times of uncertainty.
But here is where it distinguishes itself from other traditional grounding stones,
Because often, if you work with something like black tourmaline or hematite,
which are great stones.
they are, but the grounding effect can feel almost too heavy sometimes.
It pulls you down.
But it doesn't necessarily nurture the emotional body. Bacon Opal, on the other hand, moves just slightly up the energetic system to simultaneously engage the sacral chakra.
Which is all about emotion.
It supports emotional balance, creative flow, and relational harmony,
It encourages healthy engagement with desires, pleasure, and personal boundaries.
which ties perfectly back to those visual layers we discussed at the start.
Oh, right. The root gives you the heavy brown and red grounding stripes.
And the sacral brings in the softer pinks and creams of emotional expression.
You get the unshakable foundation, but you don't lose the warmth.
And Rob's guide notes that balancing these lower energy centers actually serves the entire chakra system,
It serves as a prerequisite for higher energetic work.
which raises an important question. How do you achieve genuine clarity in your higher energy centers
Your heart, your throat, your third eye.
if your foundation is unstable?
You can't. If you are constantly anxious about your physical security or you are emotionally depleted,
Your higher chakras are going to operate through a lens of fear or exhaustion.
by gently harmonizing the root and sacral over time, Bacon Opal acts as a stable foundation.
You cannot safely reach for the stars if your feet are not firmly planted on the ground,
Bacon Opal ensures your feet are planted.
allowing those upper chakras to function with much greater equilibrium.
That grounding effect in the lower chakras naturally spills over into how you would actually use this in a physical space.
Right, the practical application.
The guide transitions into a really detailed breakdown of everyday uses. And what I appreciate here is that you don't need to set up an elaborate, hours-long esoteric ritual to get the benefits.
Not at all. Let's explore some of the mechanics behind these methods from the text,
For instance, the guide suggests simply carrying it as a pocket stone.
or wearing it as jewelry.
That provides a sort of passive, continuous drip of calm, grounded energy throughout your day.
And that passive application is crucial for the demographic this stone serves. Rob's material also suggests placing Bacon Opal in your workspace or your home.
Think about the energetic dynamics of an office or a busy household.
There is constant friction.
Stress, intersecting agendas.
Placing this stone in those environments promotes emotional stability and actively creates a supportive atmosphere.
It subtly deflects that ambient, low-level stress that accumulates throughout the day.
You can also keep it near your bed or in a resting area.
Because we do so much subconscious emotional processing while we sleep,
According to the text, keeping Bacon Opal nearby encourages emotional integration and restful energy overnight.
so you aren't waking up with that same heavy, lingering sadness you went to sleep with.
Exactly. And for those who prefer active emotional processing, it is highly recommended for use during journaling or reflection.
It acts as an anchor during periods of transition, helping you remain centered when you are actively digging into complex feelings.
You can also include it in long-term crystal grids to maintain a steady, harmonious energy over time.
And it is really worth pausing to look at exactly who the guide says needs this the most.
Crystals by Rob specifically highlights caregivers, healers, and anyone navigating emotional or energetic fatigue.
These are individuals who are constantly pouring from an empty cup.
They take on the chaotic, draining influences of the people they are helping.
The energetic mechanics of that are fascinating. If you are a nurse, a therapist, or just a parent managing a chaotic household,
your aura is constantly being bombarded.
The guide states that Bacon Opal stabilizes the aura and reinforces those energetic boundaries.
It acts almost like an adaptogen for your energy field.
It replenishes depleted reserves safely, without causing the agitation or overstimulation that might come from a more activating, high-vibration stone.
Like a clear quartz.
Right. It just quietly rebuilds your energetic walls.
Yeah.
Now, here is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, the Earth Star section.
Yes. We've talked about the emotional soothing, the chakras, the daily uses, but the back half of this guide features this incredibly detailed list of Earth Star associations.
It is a massive trove of trivia.
It really is. And it ties everything we've been discussing together in a deeply esoteric way. Let's look at the flora.
The plants and herbs associated with Bacon Opal.
The guide lists ashwagandha root,
ginger root,
turmeric root,
and dandelion root.
It is no coincidence that these botanical pairings are all root systems.
It is entirely about subterranean strength.
The nourishment happens below the surface before the flower ever blooms.
It is a perfectly cohesive symbolic system. To build on your point about the roots, let's look at the functional nature of ashwagandha specifically.
Okay.
In herbalism, ashwagandha is a renowned adaptogen. It biologically combats stress, fatigue, and burnout.
It helps the body adapt to external pressures.
Exactly. Rob's inclusion of this specific root perfectly mirrors the stone's metaphysical function of acting as an adaptogen for the aura.
That is brilliant.
The material also lists lavender and cedarwood essential oils, which are world-renowned for their deeply grounding, calming, earthy profiles.
And astrologically, the stone is tied to Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo.
The 3 earth signs.
Its element is earth, its planet is earth, and its specific energetic center is the Earth Star chakra,
which is located below the feet, physically anchoring your energetic body to the planet.
The botanical and astrological pairings are incredibly logical, but the mythological and spirit associations listed in the text are wonderfully eclectic.
They span so many cultures.
Rob associates Bacon Opal with the goddess Gaia,
anchoring it deeply in chthonic earth-based mythology.
Bypassing the more ethereal deities we usually see paired with opals, we also get this sweeping list of gods.
Adonis, Athos, Ahriman,
Dionysus, Marduk, Pan,
Tammuz, and Cernunnos.
While that list of deities spans multiple different cultures,
from Celtic to Babylonian to Greek,
they all share a profound connection to agriculture, the wild, or the cycles of the physical earth.
Tammuz, for example, is a Mesopotamian god associated with the agricultural cycles of death and rebirth.
Dionysus is connected to the vine,
to the tactile, messy reality of the earth.
Cernunnos and Pan are distinctly connected to beasts and the deep forest.
It shows how universal this need for grounding and physical embodiment really is across human history.
They represent the cycles of nature, which are inherently slow and steady, much like the stone's energy.
Right.
Okay, but I want to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
I find the inclusion of Archangel Sandalphon on this list really surprising.
It stands out, doesn't it?
It does. Usually when we think of angelic associations, we think of the upper chakras, crown energy, and ethereality.
Floating in the clouds.
Exactly. How does an archangel fit into a purely earthbound subterranean stone?
That is an excellent observation, and it highlights the depth of the esoteric framework Rob is using here.
So what's the connection?
In Kabbalistic and esoteric traditions, Archangel Sandalphon is actually unique among the archangels because he is fundamentally tied to the material realm.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is often described as standing on the earth with his head reaching to heaven.
Standing on the earth.
His primary esoteric function is to gather the prayers of humanity on earth and weave them into garlands.
Wow.
So Sandalphon is the ultimate symbol of embodied spirituality.
Bridging the divine with the literal physical dirt of the earth.
Exactly. His inclusion makes perfect sense when you view the stone as a bridge between high-minded spiritual ideals and practical daily existence.
That completely reframes the angelic connection for me. It is all about anchoring.
And speaking of the physical earth, the animals and elemental spirits associated with the stone bring a very tactile reality to the guide as well.
The animal list includes the cow, the bull, the horse, the ant, the bear, the wolf, and the dog.
You look at that list and you see hardworking animals like the ant and the horse.
You see steady, heavy, grounded creatures like the bear and the bull.
You see loyal, protective companions like the dog and the wolf.
And the elemental spirits? Gnomes, dwarfs, trolls, and leprechauns.
It paints a very clear picture of subterranean strength.
When you think of gnomes or dwarfs, you think of beings that literally live inside the earth.
They work with the soil, the roots, and the stone.
You don't associate them with flying through the clouds or ethereal lightness.
Every single one of these diverse associations.
Whether it is a hardworking ant, a troll under a bridge, or a complex god of the vine like Dionysus.
They all tie perfectly back to the exact same grounding energy.
They all represent deep, unshakable roots.
They represent the physical, tactile, beautiful reality of simply existing in the material world.
It is just brilliant how a stone that looks like a marbled slice of bacon can carry the energetic weight of mountains, bears, adaptogenic roots, and ancient earth gods.
It really brings the entire framework from Crystals by Rob full circle.
We started by talking about comfort, reassurance, and soothing the nervous system.
And we end up firmly planted in the soil, completely anchored to the world around us.
If we synthesize everything we've explored from this material, the ultimate takeaway is quite profound.
Crystals by Rob honors Bacon Opal as a reminder that care, patience, and unyielding presence are, in themselves, powerful forms of transformation.
It teaches us that steady, methodical energy is often much more sustainable.
And ultimately more impactful.
Than rapid, dramatic leaps.
It is entirely about building an internal foundation that will not crack under the pressure of daily life.
Exactly. It is a reminder for you listening right now that true spiritual evolution isn't just about escaping or transcending your everyday life.
It is not about avoiding the hard stuff.
Or bypassing your complex, conflicting feelings. It is about fully, unapologetically inhabiting the present moment.
It is about letting yourself heal at a pace that is actually sustainable for your heart, your nervous system, and your physical body.
Which leaves us with a rather provocative thought to ponder, based entirely on the contrast presented in this guide.
We live in a world that is completely obsessed with quick fixes, life hacks, and pursuing those high-frequency, rapid shifts in consciousness.
We want the shortcut to feeling better immediately.
But if true resilience requires embodied healing, as the text suggests,
and if it requires harmonizing conflicting emotions slowly over time,
are we shortchanging our own growth by rushing the process?
That is the question.
What if we treated our own emotional integration with the exact same slow, layered patience as the Bacon Opal?
What a question to leave on. Slow, layered patience. It really makes you rethink how you approach your own bad days and your own spiritual expectations.
It really does.
Well, that is all the time we have for today's deep dive. I want to thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the earthy, comforting, and deeply grounded world of Bacon Opal.
It's been a pleasure.
Take a breath, plant your feet firmly on the ground, and we will catch you next time. Take care.